Okay.
I want to start, just go around the table real quick. For episode 343, favorite Halo memory ever? Because this is a franchise now that's been going, I mean, it's coming up on 20 years. We're at like 17 years.
That's weird.
That's so strange.
It's been around more than half of everyone's life here, except for mine. I'm the old at the table, but it's still almost half of mine.
Yeah.
So Halo's been around the block a long time.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Halo can legally drink in Australia next year. Congrats.
In Australia.
Yay.
Yeah, and Canada.
In Canada,
And
yeah.
almost everywhere but the U.S., actually.
A couple more years to go.
Master Chief getting sloshed in an Australian bar.
I drank with that dude. I bet it's great fun.
I bet he doesn't say much.
He'd be.
Yeah.
And he has like a
He'd be
sippy
quieter.
straw under the helmet.
He keeps it on.
Yeah.
It's Miranda and I were talking about this morning. It's really hard to think about favorite Halo memory because even thinking about it, you're like, oh, this one and this one and this one.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that I played Halo 3 with the entire campaign. His name's Matt, and he died after we finished playing the game together. He died in a car accident. So I so strongly associate that game with that friendship. And so that, like, even though it's not my favorite Halo game, has so much sentimental value to me. It's just like playing through that game with him really means a lot to me. But like if I were to pick it, like removing my
No, that's
personal
exactly
bias.
the kind of moment I'm looking for. I mean, because that's where the franchise has been around for so long that it is those kinds of stories. It's not it's not even directly. I mean, it is the games themselves, but it's like the games are the vehicle for.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like
for
there's
those
so
kind of
much more
memories
than
like
just the narrative they have in the game and the gameplay. It's like a lot of emotions and big life moments for us that are like tied to these games.
I mean,
right?
if
It
they've been
was
with
a-
us for 17 years,
It was
right?
a cultural touchstone for a lot of us growing up. you
This
know?
is, my first, I think, really serious foray into shooters. Prior to that, GoldenEye, I played for fun with my sister, and we'd have to like find the game because my mom would hide it because we were too young to play it. And when she would come, she's like, "What are you playing?" And I was like, "We're just shooting the walls. We're making wall art." And because we're like little kids, and so Halo also came out when I was still pretty young, and so my dad would sneak me into a room and be like, "Okay, your mom's out for a little bit. Let's play Halo." Because like my mom didn't want me playing it, but my dad wanted someone to play with, and I loved it so much. Like that's such
really
a
cool.
really big thing for me and like my dad, and just also kind of learning to get into these more mature games as well.
Yeah, I think on a personal level, like mine would be finishing Halo 3 Legendary with Matt and being like, yeah, we finally did it. But
And that legendary ending too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So good.
Which we played it on launch as well, so it's like I didn't get it spoiled for me. Twitter didn't exist back then. It was everything was fine.
good old days.
But I think favorite moments of the series, removing myself from that, would be first time you encountered the Flood, and also have to give a shout out to the end of Reach, which I think is still one of the best
yeah,
video
I
game
agree.
endings ever.
There are multiple moments in Reach where you're just like the cat scene, right?
It's rough. It's
Just
a rough
like,
game.
oh, God,
Death
that-
everywhere.
Halo was always like a mature shooter, I guess, in that period of my life. But like Reach was the first one that I felt, maybe not the first one, but there were many moments in Reach where I was just like, holy crap, like nobody is safe, you know?
It was good.
I really love that game. My memory, similar story. Me and my best friend who passed away a couple years ago, we met when we were like 12, 13, and I spent literally every weekend at his house, like every weekend. His parents were like second folks to me. And there were a couple moments, a few different games that came out that I remember as really like being, solidifying our friendship of, the competitive nature that we had with each other. It was Halo, and it was, Blood Gulch CTF on Halo with him and his brothers and friends from school. It was like Dreamcast or Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. It was GoldenEye, but I do remember just entire weekends going by playing Blood Gulch, just no other maps, just custom map Blood Gulch, 2-person CTF. Let's see which team could get in there and out.
Now,
the fastest.
Did you have at OXM? We had our 5 p.m. Halo every day, 5 o'clock.
Can we just keep doing that?
Yeah.
Someone.
Well, I didn't have a job back then. So.
I still play Halo on a very regular basis.
Yeah, me too.
The Master Chief Collection I played all the time. We were saying not online, but I still play the campaigns multiple times a year.
Yeah, I get usually try to run a 4-person co-op whenever we pull
We
it
should
back
do
up.
that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
If it works.
There
Yeah.
are 4 of us here.
It's almost like a perfect amount.
Goodness. But yeah, for 5 p.m. Halo at OXM, someone would inevitably. Often it was Frank O'Connor.
Yeah.
Who of course is now at 343 and has been for some years now. It would be someone would just turn on the Xbox, and that's exactly what it would be. You would hear that was the siren's call.
Suddenly,
It'd be like, okay, we're turning the game on, and it's set the map up.
I've just started watching Parks and Rec again, but it reminds me of Ron Swanson. Anytime his ex-wife Tammy's in the room, he just goes, "She's here."
She's near. And he like sniffs a little bit. Folks.
Yeah.
It's like, Tammy.
But
here.
yeah, for me, I think my all-time favorite Halo moment. It wasn't my favorite at the time, but now it is, because it's like I barely averted a hugely embarrassing moment, and I was up at Bungie reviewing Halo 2 with our editor-in-chief at the time, Rob Smith. And this was back in the days when games were done ahead of time.
Oh yeah, when there was no day one path.
Yep.
Everything in the box was there.
When games were done.
It was the last week of September in 2004, and we'd spent. I mean, if you guys remember, the hype for Halo 2 was still to this day unlike the hype I've ever personally felt and experienced for any other game.
Kind of sad I missed that.
I do too.
I think it was pretty real for Halo 3. But
Holy
you're
crap.
right,
Yeah.
we wouldn't remember
I wasn't. I just remember picking up. I was like, "Why
played it,
am
but I
I
didn't-
not Master Chief?" But this is really cool.
Yeah, I have so much to say about Halo's marketing campaigns over the years, but Halo 2 was the very first video game where I am sitting in a movie
Save
theater.
Earth.
Century 16, Mountain View, California. I am sitting in a movie theater over the summer, and I see, oh God, the Prophet of Truth's voice comes on, and I can't remember his words, but something's like, "You thought you could win? Your whole world will be glass." And I'm just like, oh my God.
weird question. Whenever, like, I don't know if this is just me, but whenever I see a commercial for a video game on TV or before a movie, I feel this weird sense of pride.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that
for
shit?
sure.
We made it, fam.
Where you're like,
we made
our
it.
industry being recognized.
Yeah.
So-
Which is
Yeah.
funny considering video games make more than
I know, they're
movies
huge,
and music
but I'm still like,
combined.
oh, that's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
So
I think we
we're
still have like the small kid on the block syndrome.
Kind
Video
of.
games do, you know?
It's like I'm so glad everyone's just like starting to recognize this and experiencing it and being a part of this community. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
having it in a movie theater is like definitely a touchstone for that.
Which is
Yeah,
why,
absolutely.
which is why,
And-
as cheesy as it is, when celebrities like publicly announce, like Snoop Dogg's, "I'm playing Battlefield 1." I'm like, all right, that's definitely a product placement, but also like, right on,
Still
Snoop
feels
Dogg.
like a win.
Right
yeah.
on, Snoop.
Yeah.
on that
Great
note,
place
Halo
to
2 was one of the first games to do movie theater advertising.
Yeah.
That was not really a regular thing in 2004, but so
I wish I could remember what movie they advertised for. It was probably something real stupid.
it probably was all of them at that point.
Yeah, maybe.
It wasn't like trailers that went before certain films. It was just an ad that goes
Yeah, you're
to
probably
the
right.
theater.
There's there's a historian out there who will probably tweet at us and let us know.
No doubt.
But also, before we jump off topic, quick shout out to the Halo 3 like veteran of the wars marketing campaign.
That campaign was incredible.
Oh my God! Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
Also,
Fantastic.
It was like a fake documentary.
It was
right?
like Band of Brothers esque, where they interviewed surviving
They'd
veterans
be like, yeah, I
from the
remember
war.
this weapon, and it was really good.
And then they turn the lights off, and he starts like quietly sobbing. I'm just like, oh my
what about
heart.
the Halo 5 like lead-in podcast series about Master
Oh,
Chief?
Hunt
was it called?
Hunt for Truth.
Hunt for
Or,
Truth.
yeah.
That was so
sorry,
good.
Oh, I
I
don't think I
love
remember
listening
this.
to that. Yeah, you should listen to them. Those
I
are still.
I remember
hold up.
the live action series, but I don't remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hunt for Truth. I remember that.
Hunt for Truth was really good.
But so we're up at Bungie. We're playing through Halo 2. No one else has seen the game yet, or not the whole thing.
Exclusive.
So we're there. Rob actually did the review, but I got to tag along and play also, which was amazing for at that point in my young career. And again, it's absurd hype for Halo 2. And they had the two of us in basically this like almost like a closet. It had windows, but it's just this little room. Like Rob was over here, I was over here, and I beat the game before he did. I finished before he did, and I remember I was just I'm in it. I'm so you're just powering through at that point. You're not stopping for breaks. You're not like going to sleep. It's just we did. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think half of it or most of it in one day, and then finished the campaign the second day before moving to multiplayer. And Tartarus dies, and there's that little cutscene where Chief's coming back to Earth, and he's like, Master Chief, what are you doing? It's like, sir, finishing this fight, and the credits rolled, and I remember just being in utter shock. Because it's like, well, no, there's another level.
What happened?
There's this last like climactic battle on Earth, and I genuinely thought, no hyperbole at all, I thought I'd hit a bug. I thought I'd like triggered a bug that had the credits roll here instead of there being a last level. And I'm just like, Rob's still playing. So I'm just kind of like sitting there by myself going like, do I tell someone? What do I do?
Yeah.
And I ended up not acting, thank goodness, because that would have been supremely awkward for both me and for Bungie, who would have been like, oh, this press guy, this critic reviewing the game thinks there was supposed to be another level, which of course we learned years later. Yes, there was supposed to be another level.
And it turned into a new game.
Well, yes, ultimately, but they just had to pick up in a different spot than what they originally had intended to. But yeah, I always just look back on that story and laugh because that stoppage, that lack of an ending in Halo 2 at the time was just like, I literally thought it was a bug. That's how crazy it was. But then, of course, from there, I would go on to every single night. And I mean every night, because that was like pre-wife, pre-kid, pre-dog.
Yeah.
Every night, Halo 2 multiplayer, because I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
That's the lesson, kids.
I remember first feeling competitive about console games with Halo 2. And I remember seeing that icon.
Get that level 50.
Dude, that moon.
I started
You got to get
Mario Kart. I started way sooner than that.
Oh, okay.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Pokemon Stadium. Was cool.
I mean, I guess what I mean is like online competitive.
Sure.
Where I thought there's a chance I could be the best in the world.
Right.
Not a chance in hell. Like there was no way I was going to do it. But I kept climbing up, and I wish I could remember what I got to. But I met friends online, and like we got pretty high up there, and then started fighting people that would just like destroy us. And I'm like, I think I'm good with this. I'm good right here.